What's up guys, it's Midway LPX here bringing you my first tutorial on this channel. So it's going to be a GFX tutorial. Why you ask, a GFX tutorial? Just because it was my latest speed art, so I'm going to be showing you this for your banner because I think banner's really cool. I really enjoy doing this and it's really fun. So anyway, you're going to need two programs. You're going to need Photoshop and Cinema 4D. So the first thing you start out with is Cinema 4D. Now you are going to need, actually, I did not open it, but I'll open it. I have a pack here. So I have a Lightroom that you need and some banner packs that I'll upload. These aren't my it's not my GFX pack though. The Lightroom and stuff, pretty cool. So it'll say several plugins are missing, but just don't worry about that. So you'll have a bunch of materials here that we can use later on. And our lights are here, of course. Anyway, we're going to start off with MoGraph and MoText. And we're going to change our align to middle, and the font, you can use whatever font you want, but I really like the font, what was it? Imperator Bold, or Bronze, sorry. And you can change the text to whatever you want. So in this case, it's a tut, I'm going to make it tut with a really cool capitalization. And the depth, I like about 50, so it's not too thick, not too thin. But you can set to whatever you like. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go to the side view here, and you're going to go to your caps, and you're going to go to fillet cap, and change the radius to 2. Now if I'm going too fast, feel free to pause the video, and if you have any troubles, feel free to message me or comment. So you have your caps, and you're going to copy this by pressing Control-C and then Control-V to paste it. So then you click on your top text here, change the cap to 1 centimeter above on both, so 3 and 3. Go to your object and change the depth 10 below the starting number. So in this case it's 50, so I'll change it down to 40. Then I'll take my Z-axis here, the blue line, and just center it as well as I can. It's not perfect, but it looks pretty good to me. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I may take a while on this. And this kind of stuff really annoys me. Anyway, I'm going to copy the top one and paste the other one. Now you click the top one again, change your depth to 30. Go to your caps here and change your caps to 4 and 4. Nope, not 43, just 4. And you'll see it gives it a kind of a growing effect here. Now it's not mandatory, but it's really nice. There's different ways you can do this, but this is the coolest looking way I've done. So now you have your text and stuff. So now we're going to put some materials on there, so you can just drag this up if you can't see your materials like I can. The first one, if you want to put textures on your text, then you're going to have to use, I used a brick, but you can use something else here. There's a scratched, what do we want to use? We can use a black, or let's use scratch metal dark. So we're gonna double click it to adjust it. No, we don't want that. What do we want? We look for a cool one. So around here somewhere. It might have been scratched. And then we're gonna go to, okay, well, reflection. Yes, so it wasn't this one here. But we can just use brick for now, and if you want, you can, we'll try to put a reflection on it. Put a reflection on it, we'll change our texture to Fresnel, or Fresnel. I like to call it Fresnel. We'll change our brightness to 10, and our min strength to 10. And let's change our brightness back up to 20. And then we're just going to drag it on our bottom one. There. So we can click this button here, and we can kind of render it out and stuff. We see what it looks like. There's really no reflection, so what we're going to do I want a reflection on this one, so it's really cool. So we're gonna take this scratched, what is it called? Scratched metal. So if we press this again, we can always see, and there's something wrong with it because I do not have the plugin, so delete that. Okay, let's just go with the normal black, what was that called? Brick 9, that's what it was. So yeah, we had the reflection on it and everything, so I think that'll be better. So just drop that on the bottom mode text. Then we're going to use a nice red, and so red here somewhere that we can use. We can use this red here, or we can use this red here, the Crez red. But really, it doesn't matter. So I think I'm just gonna use the Crez red. I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's okay. And we already have a reflection and stuff, so we're just gonna change this down to 10 and to 10. And we get that, and then we just drag it onto our top and our bottom, so we get them on both text. So now we can just press this quick render button here, and we'll see what we get. So we get a cool red thingy. We don't really care for it that much. So now we're gonna select both of the top and the middle text there. So not the bottom one, not the brown one, just the red ones, or whatever color you choose. And you need Thraugy plugin, and if you don't have it, you can Google it. But you're gonna go to Thraugy, and Thraugy, change your pieces to 30, and we're gonna click break now. How long is it? 6 minutes. I don't know how long it'll be. I might have to break it up, or if I can upload 30-minute videos, and that's fine. But you're gonna just break it, and it's gonna depend on speed of your computer and everything. Now you gotta make sure your top and your middle text is selected, not your bottom one, because that's going to be where our actual text is. So now we have a bunch of pieces here. Now you can just press the check mark on all these here by dragging like I just did. Now we're going to add an effector by going to MoGraph, effector, and where is it? Random. Now we get all this random stuff. We're just going to select our parts, and then it's just say Thraugy, and we're just going to drag them underneath the random. Make sure your arrow has the arrow pointing down, not left. So it's going to go in there. I'm going to close that up. So what do we got here? What's going on? Alright, so yeah, you got those there. Then you're going to click on your random. You can go you can rotate this. Mine's going all wonky on me when I'm recording. It does that. So I forget which is front and back. Anyway, this is alright. I'm in front. So we're just gonna click on our Z-axis here and just drag it behind the text a little bit. So now we kind of got this going on here, and we can always position our camera. So there we got that. Now that is our final step in Cinema 4D. Now you can center your camera however you like, and your angle you can have up, down. I prefer kind of an upward view. And we got that. So now we're gonna go to our mode text. We're gonna press C, and it's gonna create these nulls. And we're just gonna go to the drop down box, click on the T there, click on our rotate tool, and we're gonna just click anywhere and rotate it a little bit. We can also bring it out so that the pieces aren't interfering with it. We can rotate our U a little bit, you know, that's kind of cool, not too much. We can also try to center it a bit better. We can pull it out and put it back. Then we can click on our T here, and we're also going to rotate this into it. And that's fine. So that's what we get there. Now you're going to click on this little render setting button here. Make sure you have your width 1600 by 900 pixels, and that's good for there. Then you're going to go to save, and make sure you have alpha channel selected and in format PNG, otherwise alpha channel won't work. And you can just save it. I'm going to put it on my desktop and call it tut, and good. Now you can just close it and click this render button here, not the one with the screen, the full render, and that's going to fully render out your picture. So I'm just going to pause my recording and come back when it's done. So, BRB guys. Okay guys, I'm back and it is done and it looks really beautiful right now. You can tell it's done by the little green dot there. So you can just close that up. Now, I'm just going to leave mine open, but you can close it and save it just in case anything happens. Saving is pretty important. I've had a lot of problems. So there's on my desktop here, tut and perfecto. Now before I put up this video, I'll make sure to put up the pack on Mediafire or something. So you're going to open up the GFX pack first and wait for your Photoshop to open. So this is the one I did my banner. I used a different text. Or not different text, a different material on it. I forget which material it was. But, yeah. Anyway, it's going to say some text layers are missing, but that's fine. And it's by Fresno, whatever. You know, go check him out. He's cool. And, what I'm going to do, just leave the BG on. If it'll even go on here. It's just freezing on me. There we go. Close that up. I'm only gonna put little and this in a RAR folder or zip folder and on Mediafire for you guys to download, because big is kind of confusing at times and it can mess up your banner. Anyways, so we're gonna also open up little, and they should open up right in the same Photoshop, so you can always click the tabs here and switch back and forth. So we're going to go to our little here, and you can just drag it off to the side. Doesn't really matter. Then we take our text that we rendered in Cinema 4D and just drag her on. And we can position it. And we're going to hold, I think it's Alt and Shift. Yeah, Alt and Shift. And just bring it up size so you can see the whole thing right on there. Now what I like to do is just use the bars as a guideline. In this case, I kind of messed up the size of it. That's the problem here. Now it's starting to freeze here. You know, my computer's being wonky, so I'm going to pause and come right back. Okay, so I closed Cinema 4D, which probably will help a little bit in the performance. Anyway, we're going to take our tut again and drag it in, because I removed it, and hold Alt and Shift, and just increase the size. And you can increase it as big or as small as you want. I'm going to try to get into these lines here, which would be really cool. Just these lines. So I'm just going to hold Shift. There we go. And that's pretty center. I can move it around a bit, but for tutorial sakes, I'm not going to bother. So I have my tut there. Now we're going to go back to the Fresco design pack, and we're going to go color correction. Now I used a green in my banner, but I'm going to use a purple because I kind of like purple. So I'm going to take my tab. For me, it doesn't work when I drag it, so I'm just going to take my tab, pull it out. Well, I click on this fold first, then pull it out. Then click back onto my design tab and click on my purple and drag it in. Then I will put it back in the tab layer so I can see. Now purple, just make sure it's on top, turn it on. You can see it's kind of dark and you don't really like that, so you click on your color fill and you can turn it up or down as much as you want. Now 17 is usually what I kind of like, but it's your personal choice. Now you're also going to take here your text layer and you're going to press Ctrl J twice. Now your middle one you're going to take, press Ctrl T, and you're going to hold Alt and Shift to say center and drag it up a little bit bigger. So that's about good. And check. And then take your opacity and put it down to about 50, nah, we'll go 20%. That's very subtle. You can barely see it, but if I turn it off and on, you can kind of see it there. Now for your other copy here, you're going to press Ctrl T. You're going to make it a bit bigger than the other one was. Oops, that's the wrong one. The other one underneath of it. You press Ctrl T and drag it a bit bigger and then rotate it a little bit so it gives it another cool effect, and change the opacity to 20 as well. Would be pretty good. I did 10, but It's really subtle, so I think 20 will cut it. Let's go back to 20 there. Okay, so we got that. Now the next part's all creative. I don't want you guys to exactly follow me, but you guys pick what you think's cool. Now usually I'm gonna go, I don't know what's through this and that, so I'm gonna go through all these effects and all these lights and stuff, and you can just pick out stuff so you can go along with me. Now I like this right here, the effect number 10, that little circle ball thing. I'm just gonna leave my tut layer out like this, and whenever I want to go back to it, I just click on it and my stuff's right there. So I'm gonna click on that. I believe it was 9. Nope, it was 10. So I'm just gonna drag it in, and it's right there. So I just click on my arrow tool and I can just position it where I want. So I can extend this out a little bit so I have a bit more room to play around with. And I'll stick it right there. Seems pretty cool. Anyway, I'll click back on my GFX pack. And let's go to a flame we can do. So we can click on to view them. We can drag this up a bit. And click back here. Don't want that. We want a flame we can put at the bottom. So that one's cool, or that one. I like this one here because it's a bit, bigger. So we can click on flame 2 and drag it on. And make sure it's underneath, make sure both your effects are underneath the purple color correction. And as you can see, we have this flame here. You can drag it and position it how you want. And that's really cool. And we can change the opacity to, yet again, personal choice. I'm going to pick, I want it to be noticeable. I'm going to pick about 40, so it's not too much. And I will post this picture on Mediafire or Gaiazo or whatever you guys feel is pretty cool. And click back on there. So really all it is adding a bunch of effects and make sure your stuff are like overlay, and it's all up to you pretty much. As you can see, my effects screen here, so the black's all gone and it's just the colors. But you guys can do whatever you want, and you guys can follow along with me right here to see what, get used to it, and if you think it's cool, then cool. But I'm gonna do like a stock effect here. What I'm gonna do on this is a texture effect that I think's cool. I did this one. Let's try a different one. Maybe this one. So we're gonna drag this on here, and you can see it there. Now we're gonna bring it underneath of both text there on the very bottom, and turn color correction off for a second so you can see it here. So I'm going to press Control and T just to drag it a bit bigger. So make sure it is, if you want to put a texture over top of your text layers but underneath of everything else, then change it to overlay. Oops, I didn't do that. Overlay. Now it's kind of darkish, but what you can do, change the opacity again. Actually, for some reason that's not working. I think you just change it to screen. So just put it to screen. Leave the opacity at 100% and you get a cool texture on it. You can't really see it, but if I zoom in on it, you get texture. And you can do that. I'm going to remove this texture here. So that texture get out of there. Oh, it won't delete. Delete button's not delete. Delete layer. Click on that there, and I'm going to use a more noticeable texture. I'll try this one here. Put that under there. Then we're going to do, what if we change it to overlay? Nope, don't work. A screen. So that really wouldn't work unless I want it to cut them out. It really depends unless I want to change my opacity and stuff. It really depends. So that one will just get out of here. I'll show you guys the one I did that I really think's really cool. It's this one right here, those blocks and stuff. So it's stock 8. So I'm just gonna drag it on there, and it is underneath of my tuts. And if I do overlay, it's really dark. If I do screen, it's pretty good. And the opacity changed down. Now I forget, how did I do? I think I changed it to. Let me check. How did I do that? Just look at it. I believe I did do overlay. What it was is go overlay and change the opacity to 100. What you gotta do is make a new layer and put it underneath your tut and hold Alt and click in between, so it's that drop down box. So there you go. So now you're gonna click on normal. Do we want normal? I think we'll just leave it at normal for now. Now I want to brighten it up a bit, so I'm gonna pick a white and just start. Change this to overlay and do a white on it, and it brightens it up. You can see. You can change the opacity down just to whatever we like, but I'm not liking the look of that, so therefore I'm just gonna remove the texture and remove that layer there. Actually, I could have kept it on. Just change the opacity down a little bit, keep it a bit brighter. Like, go 3%, 5%, let's go 5%. So you guys can follow along there. This may not be the most clear tutorial ever, but remember, it's my first guy, so bear with me. So I'm going to go back to the design pack. I want to do a shockwave, which I think was cool. So I'm going to pick a cool, decent shockwave. Now there's that one, I think, this one here of the circular thingies are pretty cool. So we're going to click back on this and take shockwave 2 and drag it on. And make sure it is underneath your purple. And we can also do this here. I'm going to extend this out a bit more so I can see. And we're going to just increase it a bit. And we're going to just keep increasing it. I'm going to go full screen here and just zoom out for a second. And I'm just going to increase it until... See, this is going to be really pixelated, so I don't think it's going to work. It's not bad, but another way to do it is just go here, and I will shrink this again, and just take my little bubble. Okay, and I'm gonna right click on it and flip it horizontally. Whoops, flip vertical, I mean. I want it to kind of come into around the text there, so I'm just going to rotate it a bit and zoom out and rotate it and plop it like that. Now what you can do is take your eraser tool on it and just erase this garbage here. Okay, and that's cool. Now we can click on this and we can click Control Z and Control T and just drag it over, right click and flip horizontally and just pop it right there. Now I missed some of the erasings there, you could see it on the other end there, but as long as it's not showing, you're fine. And I want to change the opacity down to 50, and same with this one, about 50. You don't want it too bright, we want the text to be more noticeable. So next, I'm going to click on this again. I'm going to just pin this up here for a second. What do we want? We want a space. We want a dust. I believe the dust was number... I think it was 4. No, maybe it was 10. So we'll take 10. And like I said before, 10 they don't drag out on me, so I need to bring my thingy-mabobber like that, and drag 10 onto there, and just press Control, make sure it's under the purple, Control J, drag it over, Control J, drag it over, and actually, let's just delete that one there. We'll just put 3 on, they will be split up a little bit, so there, and the middle one there goes in the middle. And we're going to select all of them. We can hold Shift and just change the opacity down to a noticeable 50. Seems pretty good for me. And yet again, you guys just got to play around with it. How long is this? 24 minutes. I'll go for another 5 minutes. A shadow. Let's see what the shadow... I can't see the shadows. I'm going to minimize that. So we can do a dust, which would be cool. So I'm going to pick, I want one that's going to come through the text, so I'll do number 5 there. So I'll bring this bad boy back up, and 5, drag that on there. Underneath a purple, and yet again very subtle. I'm gonna bring it on this side here. Cool. And that can go away. Now particles, we want, there should be, what I like to do is a bubble, and that is, I believe it's on effects here, not that one. There's a rain there. I'll have to do the rain. It's this right here, so effect 13. So we're gonna take effect 13, drag it on. Whoop, not rename it, drag it on. And yeah, it's gonna be like that, but we don't care right now. What we're gonna do is, it's underneath purple, change it to screen or overlay. Nope, not overlay, just screen. And we're gonna take it, duplicate it, Control J, center it, duplicate it, Control J, sorry, bring it there. Then we're gonna select them all and change the opacity to, I think a decent one would be 50. Okay, so I'm not gonna continue on anymore, but you guys get the idea. Just continue, like, if you need any help, feel free to message. If you want more tutorials, message again. Before I go, I'm gonna bring an update. I am partnered, so there may be ads and videos. I'm gonna start using non-copyright music, and yeah, guys, totally help me out. Share my channel. I want to get some more subscribers and stuff, and cool. I'm definitely making more tutorials, so I hope you guys have fun with this. If you need any help, or if you want an edit, or you want me to make you a graphic logo or something, feel free to message me. And so this is LPX, and peace, guys.